electrical safety tips by your local Ford dealers. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. And by University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Now live from Music City and the Operaland Hotel, here's Gary Dolphin and Pat Angerer.
Greetings, everybody, from Nashville, Tennessee, site of the 27th annual Music City Bowl coming up on Monday. Gary Dolphin alongside former Hawkeye great Pat Anger, the middle linebacker from back in the earlier 2000s. Not early 2000s, but earlier 2000s.
Yeah, I'm not that old. I just look that old. You know?
Well, your voice sounds ancient tonight. I know.
A lot of karaoke last night. A lot of Merle Haggard.
A lot of karaoke.
No.
Were you down at Dirk Bentley's place or Morgan Wallin?
Yes. Yes.
Well, this is, if you're going to lose your voice, this is a good city to do it.
Amen, right? Brother.
Well, you'll have it back by Monday.
I sure hope so.
You'll be as good as ever. Pat Anger. I imagine Mary is happy that you can't quite speak as loud as you usually do.
She's happy I'm down here and she's back there.
Mary, by the way, Patrick's lovely wife, bride back in Bettendorf. Hi to Mary and everybody in Eastern Iowa and, of course, throughout the state. And thank you so much for joining us on the Hawkeye Radio Network, 55 stations strong. We're here until 8 o'clock tonight. Here comes Coach Ferentz. I can't even get our guests' names out of my mouth, and our first guest walks in. Coach Ferentz, gracious enough to stop by and put the headset on for a minute or two and chat with us. He's been as busy as anybody this week, but we've got Beth Getz stopping by, Hawkeye Athletic Director. Tim Hasselback, that name should sound familiar, who is the head coach at the facility where the Hawkeyes have practiced, the prep school that the Hawks have practiced at the last few days. We'll talk with Tim. We got a couple Tims. Tim Lester is going to stop by after dinner and talk about his offense and that crowded quarterback room now, which is always good. Kirk, thanks for coming by.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Welcome
Happy holidays.
to Nashville.
Merry
Likewise.
Christmas. Happy New Year. We got the horse, Pat Anger here.
I was yelling at practice, you know.
There you go. I like it.
Trying to be like Seth.
Too much karaoke, he said last night.
Okay. Well,
Music Row.
that can happen here, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, couple practices here once the Hawks landed on Christmas Day, yesterday and today, and a bowl week, bowl prep is always fun. As you like to say, it's a reward for a season well done, and the guys seem to be enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I think they are. It's been, Pat can tell you, it's a long month. Think back, our last game was right there at the end of November. So you go through a period there where you're bowl eligible, you don't know who you're going to play, and then you finally find out where you're going, who you're going to be up against, all that type of deal. But even then, when a game's 2.5 weeks off, it seems like that's forever. So we've kind of been working routinely, but not overworking, and so it's good just to kind of get to the point here over the last, I'd say, 6-7 days where we're I've got our opponent in focus, and now we're obviously in our true game week progression. So it's all good, and a little rusty yesterday on the field. We took I've lost track of what days it is, but 2 days ago we were off. Yesterday was like a Tuesday workout for us, and then today was Wednesday, and I thought it was a little bit sharper. So the facilities are great. It's great to be in Nashville. I think the players are really enjoying it, and they've got a function tonight. So, and then tomorrow it's kind of their day off, like it is back at home in a normal season thing, and then we'll clean things up Friday morning, and what would be our Friday morning, Sunday morning, and then get ready for the game.
Yeah, I heard you yell "wake up" more than once yesterday. Which, and I got thinking, 12 games, almost 1,000 snaps.
Two things. We were, you had a day off there, and that we were all traveling Christmas, and had a nice dinner Christmas night with everybody here, everybody in the traveling party, and the other part was around a grass field, which. We looked like a bunch of tortoises, quite frankly. You're used to seeing the guys on turf.
Sure, on turf.
And it was a really soft grass field, a good field, but nonetheless, it just looked like things were kind of slow motion. So, and then we've got a couple young guys that, it's first night out. I don't know what they could have been doing on Christmas night, but first night out, and they're hardly bowl veterans. So some of those guys need a little encouragement to get moving.
They'll be bowl veterans by the time they're done. Like
Hopefully.
this guy, number 43, next to you.
So, he handled it just fine, as far as I remember.
I'm sure he did.
Some of my favorite memories were, I'm glad you're carrying it on, is the Santa Claus hat on Christmas. That's my favorite one. But you've been to a million bowl games in your career here. What are some things that you've changed and adjusted since when you first started going to bowl games?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. I remember our first one was in San Antonio, 2001. It was a great experience and what have you. And then the next year, I can't remember the date. I think it was like the 28th or something like that in December. The next year we ended up in the Orange Bowl and played, I think, on January 4th or something like that. Plus we had a bye at the end of the season that year.
Right.
So it was like a month and a half till we played. And then, that was the first year we really, had some success, like, big-time success. And so you had the combination of a long time till the bowl game. A lot of guys getting awards and flying around nationally to different events. And quite frankly, we were flying at an altitude we weren't equipped for, so kind of lost our edge as a football team. We had really had it going pretty well in November and really lost our edge in that 6 weeks. So that was the first time we really had to reassess things. And the next year we played in Tampa against Florida and played much better and handled the whole thing much better. So every year's an evolution, if you will, and this year's been one too, just with it's been a little different with we were all back in the office in December. Normally we're out recruiting. So that was kind of weird, but it gave us a chance to be closer and more connected with the team. So I think in a lot of ways it's been good, but nonetheless there's still a gap between playing the last game and now this thing, and it really gets down to having good guys, older guys on the team, good leadership that kind of set the tempo and explain to younger guys how it works.
You push the right buttons his senior year in 2009 with that Orange Bowl performance by the Hawkeyes against that triple option threat Georgia Tech, and Norm Parker had that thing figured out.
That's one of the best experiences I've ever had in bowl games. I mean, the win in the first one was like winning the Super Bowl when we beat Texas Tech down in the Alamo Bowl. Just because, it gave us 7 wins, it gave us some traction. It was just everything positive about it. But that 2009 one was one that you never forget. And Norm was just so proud, and rightfully so. He had these guys primed. I mean, they were totally primed. And we gave up 7 points. Stanzi couldn't get warmed up in a game until he threw a pick six. That's when we started playing well. So we gave them a touchdown, and then we could have shut them off on that. I think it was early in the third quarter. We let them score.
Yep.
And they shouldn't have got in, but they did. But otherwise, it was just a flawless performance by our defense.
And I knew right away after that first practice with Norman explaining to us, how we're going to defend that option. I knew right away we were going to. And I felt like our scout team ran it better than Georgia Tech. I don't want to talk trash, but our scout team did a really good job that week.
That's a key component. Thank God we had all that time to get ready, because to get a scout team ready in 3 days to do that, you can't do it. And, I remember it was like yesterday, walking by Norm's office, and he held up an old Manila folder. This is probably 3 weeks before the game. Yep, Manila, and it was worn. And it was Texas Tech, like 1974 or something like that, but it was when he was at Minnesota. And he found it, and he was just so happy. It was like, this is it right here. And it was it. I mean, I don't know what's in that folder, but it worked pretty well.
Oh, he told you, he said, we ran this defense against the triple option. In fact, he also said he ran it against a high school up in what was the suburb in Detroit he was from? Hamilton,
like Redfield, or up in
it was Hickory Park or something.
He's
like
from
that.
Hazel Park.
Or Hazel Park.
North Hazel
said,
Park.
When he was up in Detroit coaching high school football, he ran this defense against the triple option threat. So we shut him down that night.
Football's football.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
That's a great point. Football is football. Tim Hasselbeck, we were talking about that today. He said it's still, the Jimmies and the Joes, the blocking and tackling. It's great to have quarterback solve, wide receiver, terrific running backs, but it's all about blocking and tackling. And it will be with Mizzou.
Doesn't change. Yeah, it doesn't change. And this is a good football team we're playing. Obviously, they've won 9 games, ranked in the top 20. So they're a really good football team, and very talented defensively. What you'd expect with an SEC outfit. Very big up front, physical. 15's a really good player. They're all good, but 15 and 5 are the guys that, to me, are really been very, very productive and disruptive. 15's disruptive. The backers make a lot of plays. Both those guys have done a good job, and they're up near the top of the SEC in tackles, as is the safety number 1. So kind of like us a little bit with the guys in the middle, have to make tackles and do a good job. Their defensive line plays well. And then on the offensive side, big offensive line who's been really doing a good job, 2 really good running backs. And the receiver corps took a hit. The one guy opted out for the NFL.
Luther Burden, yeah.
Number one's a really good player, and he's got a lot of production as well. And then we caught a break. Their tight end got some kind of surgery, so he won't play. But the guy that makes him go is a quarterback, and it's kind of ironic. You know, we played Missouri in 2010, and you know they had a first-round draft pick quarterback.
Blaine
who was
Gabbert.
Pretty good, yeah.
Gabbert, he wasn't bad.
TJ Moe or CJ Moe, I just remember he had like 37 catches against us, and God, was he good. And then you know, the one receiver we couldn't cover, and then ironically, we didn't have our running back. We had a freshman play running back that game. I think he had 219. I know he had 219. I looked it up this morning.
Marcus Coker, right?
Yeah, so
yeah.
You know, maybe fate will handle itself again. And
yeah, for sure.
Micah Hyde picked off the one at the end to win the game for us, the pick 6. So it was just a really good effort on our team's part. And it's not obviously the same. You know, it's however many years later, 14 years later. But two good football teams. Missouri's a really talented team, and we're going to have to be at our absolute best. And, you know, the things that are always true are going to have to be true here again. We're going to have to protect the football and, you know, stop their run game, try to control that a little bit. Not that you want to just put it in the hands of the quarterback, but I think you got to be able to control their run game a little bit, or it's going to be a tough outing for us.
Kirk, what are a couple of Brady Cook's attributes? I mean, he's been a part of 25 victories over 2.5 years. Guy knows how to win.
Yeah, I was going to say the first thing is experience. You know, it's going to be tough to rock his world, and he's just a good football player. You know, he's good. He can step out of the rush, all that kind of stuff, and he's poised. He's accurate, and that experience and good experience. So to your point, he's had a lot of success, and he's a big part of that. And I actually watched him against South Dakota a year ago, only because I got interested in South Dakota, and it sounded like there was, you know, some of the boo birds and a little controversy. Do we go? You know, how long do they go with this guy and all that stuff? Whoever decided to go with him made a good decision because he's done pretty well.
He's from Chaminade High School in St. Louis, I noticed. Hawks have been pretty successful getting players out of there. Yeah,
it's a great school, great program. And I actually met Jason Tatum there when he was in 11th grade, I think.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, and I'll never forget that. I was down there making a visit, and the high school coach, really good man, he introduced me to him and said that either Krzyzewski or Roy Williams had been there the night before. And I expected this guy to be a little bit arrogant and kind of like, you know, a hotshot young guy who's a junior. And I'll never forget, just, you know, we visited for maybe 45 seconds. You talk about, you know, you get a feel around certain people, and this guy, he's looking at me in the eyes, acted like he was actually interested, and there was just something about him. Like, boy, that kid's a pretty special kid. Little did I know he was Jason Tatum, the NBA champion. But
he turned out to be okay.
He did all right.
As I remember,
there was something about him that just meeting him that day, I was like, oh, this guy's not your average guy.
Was Claiborne? Was he from Chaminade, or was he?
He was Webster Groves.
Webster Groves.
Webster Groves.
Gotcha.
Yep.
There's so many good football players down there, and
how do you remember all this stuff?
I used to recruit St. Louis when I was an assistant, so that's kind of one area I know a little bit. But back in the 80s, Chaminade was nothing. They had no kind of program, so they've really done a nice job building that up.
That's terrific. Pat, what do you got for Coach before we let him go?
I mean, a lot of talk about, obviously, Nick Jackson, Jay Higgins. I mean, those guys are legends. But I think Kyler Fisher gets forgotten a lot in the media, and he really comes in and he does a lot of the dirty work and a lot of the coverage stuff that I was really bad at, he's really good at. And would just like to, talk about Kyler a little bit.
He's a really good story just on the personal level, walk-on from Iowa, small-town Iowa. And it was as recently as about 2.5 years ago. I wasn't sure, just watching him. You watch him in the weight room and watch him doing things. I'm not sure this guy likes football. Like, he just looked disinterested for whatever reason. It was kind of interesting. And then all of a sudden it just, boom, it hit. And he just took off. And ever since then, he's been doing a great job defensively. We play a lot of that cash. So he's not on the field maybe as much as he liked, but he's always been outstanding on special teams. Once that light came on, he just took off and still does a great job. So he's just a real selfless guy, all about the team. Quiet leadership, but he's respected by everybody. To your point, everybody knows what he does and how he acts, and so he's just it's a big group of seniors, and we tend to, run a little bit. It's a good group typically, and a lot of those guys aren't starters or guys that are playing 70, 80 snaps a game. But, just the way they do things, the way they practice, the way they do things in the weight room, all that stuff adds to, that's how the younger guys learn. So I'm just really appreciative of Kyle. He's had a great career, and really proud of him. He's just a tremendous young man.
That's awesome.
Coach, last thing I have is it was good to see Brendan Sullivan out there running around the last couple of days at quarterback, and with Caleb obviously gone, we'd love to have him here. But your plan for Kamari and Jazz, is it to split the handoffs or the carries, or just stick with the routine you had all season?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We feel comfortable with those guys, and Max White's there, and then our 2 young freshmen. I don't know if we'll play them or not, but they both have improved so much since August, and they're both very different, but they're both, I think, really going to be good players. So, you never know. But, with Kamari and Jazz, I don't know if either of them are ready to play, 70 snaps a game anyway. But we'll let them get in and out and see who's got the hot hand and see how things fit situationally. But they're both just really good players and good prospects. They practiced well, and to expect them to be KO, that's not fair to anybody right now. But I think they'll play well, and who knows? Maybe one of them will be the player of the game. That'd be great by me.
It would be great by me too. Thanks for coming by and giving us some of your time tonight, Coach. I know you got a lot going on, and talked to Amani Hooker today with the Tennessee Titans. He's having a great year. Unfortunately, he's injured and not going to play this weekend at Jacksonville, but he's a fixture here now after 6 years, and we of course visited about the pick 6 to start the Ohio State game in 2018. He says, a couple Buckeyes still bring that up when I cross
That's
paths.
good. That's good. Well, he's done a great job, the 6th year, I think, right now with these guys, and just really respected. And another guy, kind of one of our guys, I think he was going to UNI, and we stole him late maybe, and what a great job he did with us. Great mom and dad, just, a great young man. So it's neat to see him here now. He's got a little one. And,
he does.
He's
Nice.
Actually, they got and a stepdaughter, so they his life's changed a little bit. And I was teasing him about taxes, too, because it's a tax-free state, and he's figured that out. That's not a bad deal. So, he's just a great young guy, and just happy to see him having the kind of success he is and being respected in such a way he is. Chick Giazzi is working with the Titans as well.
That's right.
He'll be by sometime Monday. Another guy, just another DB that we're so proud of, and it's been here a long time. They love him down here. And Carl Kluge, I think, is going to stop by practice on Sunday. And another guy who just had a tremendous career and has chosen to make this his residence.
Coach, all the best. Happy New Year to you, Mary, and the family, and soon to be 12 grandkids.
Well,
And,
I know what we can do to make it happier. I do know that. So
yes.
That part's easy to figure out. Now the hard part's figuring out how to do it. But hopefully our guys will play well, and it's a great game for everybody to be part of.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Good to see you. And we'll take a break here. This is our special Hawk Talk Bowl special from Nashville, Iowa, Missouri, in the Music City Bowl. Much more to come here between now and 8 o'clock. This is our Hawk Talk Bowl special with Coach Ferentz and others from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Lucy Olson from the Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball team. Did you know that vaping can harm your lungs and impact your athletic performance, leaving you feeling gassed? On the court, my coach guides me. Off the court, let Quitline Iowa be your coach and help you quit vaping for good.
A message from Iowa HHS.
When you live in the Midwest, you're accustomed to leading the nation in certain things, from corn and pork production to eggs and soybeans. And now we're adding another product to that list: clean, renewable wind energy. By investing in wind turbines and partnering with area farmers and landowners, Mid-American Energy is harvesting wind power that's homegrown right in our very own backyard, which not only provides customers with low, stable energy rates, but also the support to make our Midwest communities safer and stronger.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just needs someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Here in Iowa, we know the value of hard work, and so does Summit Agricultural Group. We're committed to our state, adding value to what makes Iowa great: our corn, our beef, our hogs, and our ethanol. It's more than farming. It's building a better future for Iowa families. So whether you're cheering on the Hawks or working in the fields, know that Summit Agricultural Group is here, growing Iowa together. Summit Agricultural Group, rooted in Iowa, growing value.
Thank you to our Hawkeye Radio Network Music City Bowl partners. 988 Lifeline. There is hope. 24/7 confidential support. Call, text, or chat 988. Iowa HHS. Quitting vaping or smoking can be hard, but Quitline Iowa can help you quit for free with your own personal coach. Get started today. Text START to 300500. Summit Agricultural Group. Committed to Iowa and adding value to Iowa products. Corn, beef, hogs, ethanol. Go Hawks.
Hi, I'm Lucy Olson from the Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball team. Did you know that vaping can harm your lungs and impact your athletic performance, leaving you feeling gassed? On the court, my coach guides me. Off the court, let Quitline Iowa be your coach and help you quit vaping for good.
A message from Iowa HHS.
This is the Music City Bowl preview edition of Hawk Talk, presented by 988 Lifeline. There is hope. 24/7 confidential support. Call, text, or chat 988.
We appreciate 988 Lifeline, our presenting sponsor tonight. 988 Lifeline. Call or text 988 right now if need be. Happy holidays, everybody. Gary Dolphin with former Hawkeye great Pat Anger, and thanks so much to Coach Ferentz for helping kick our bowl special off tonight from Nashville. We're here until 8 o'clock, and we're taking your tweets, your Facebook posts. U.S. Cellular text line is open at 319-853-8344, 319-853-8344. We've got other special guests stopping by later. Amani Hooker, the outstanding safety of the Tennessee Titans. Hawkeye offensive coordinator Tim Lester will visit with Iowa Athletic Director Beth Getz. And if we have time, we'll visit with Tim Hasselback, who is the head coach of the prep school where the Hawks were practicing the last couple days. Yeah, that Tim Hasselback. Tim and Matt Hasselback played so many years in the NFL, both quarterbacks. Their dad was a tight end with the Patriots back in the day. And now Tim is the head football coach here in Nashville, and Matt is the offensive coordinator, and Dad is the tight ends coach. Talk about a family affair, PA.
I mean, just a phenomenal family. I was lucky enough to play with Matt in Indy for 2 years.
Just trying to take
and
care
just a
of.
really great guy.
He is, and a really good quarterback.
Yeah, he was good. Actually, one of my 2 interceptions was against him, so I'm going to take it.
Was that when he was with Seattle?
It was Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay.
It was our first win in our 0-12 season up to that point, so it was like Super Bowl.
You didn't need to mention your record.
Yeah,
One of the few years that Indy had a bad year, below 500. But Matt, I think it was 6 straight years he led Seattle to the playoffs, the Seahawks, and so it wasn't always Russell Wilson getting the job done, although Russell's awfully good. You can reach us by email on the U.S. Cellular text line, Facebook, or Twitter. Twitter at Gary Dolphin, Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. And you can email us now at hawktalk@HawkeyeRadioNetwork.com, where Kevin is in Dallas. He wonders if the running game will be schemed differently without Caleb in the lineup. Not really.
No, I mean, I think you do what you do right? You do what you do best, and you focus on that. You focus on trying to do it better. You don't really, at this point in the season, want to kind of change anything, and they're going to continue to do what they do, and it's worked. One of the top rushing offenses in the country, and we've got 2 really good guys. I mean, Moulton and Patterson are solid. They could be starters wherever. So I'm really looking forward to watching them succeed on Monday.
Jazz Patterson has rushed for 235 yards, 53 carries, so he's seasoned, 4.5-yard average. Kamari Moulton, who was the starter at the beginning of the year before Caleb exploded onto the scene, the redshirt freshman Kamari out of Fort Lauderdale, Jazz is out of Pompano Beach. But Kamari's averaging almost 6 yards a carry, a couple touchdowns, rushed for nearly 400 yards on 67 carries. These guys, even though they're young, one's a sophomore, one's a redshirt freshman, they're seasoned.
They're very seasoned, and with Moulton, he's your tough, he's your I'm going to punch you in the mouth, I'm going to run over you, and then you've got Jazz, who's kind of like the home run hitter, and they're going to complement each other really, really well.
What did you notice about Brendan Sullivan here the last couple of days? We hadn't seen him in a while, and it's good to see him running around first.
Yeah, I'm so used to seeing him from, a bunch of
Up
stories
above,
in the booth.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea he's 9 feet tall.
he's pretty close. He's 6'4".
He threw some really good balls today and looks really confident. And what I love about him the most is he's a competitor, and he's trying to score a touchdown every single time, and really gave us a spark this year. And excited for him because I'm sure he's got a lot of pent-up aggression.
I got thrown off track here. One thing about Brendan, and I know you've been talking to Seth Wallace and some of the defensive coaches, is Missouri is very, very good in the A-gap. It's stuffing things inside. Kirk was talking about that a little bit ago. I mean, their defensive ends have a majority of the sacks, 11 total between Johnny Walker Jr. and Zion Young, the former Michigan State Spartan. He's on the other end. But Christian Williams and Chris McClellan, both guys over 300 pounds, are quick and agile, and they really guard that A-gap. So with Brendan being RPO, a guy who can get out of the pocket and run, that's important. What do the Iowa coaches say about the Missouri defense?
Yeah, I mean, obviously very complimentary, very tough. I mean, what they want to do, and it's similar to us. On offense, they want to run the ball. On defense, they want to stop the run. Both just very similar approaches to the game. The one thing that Jazz mentioned is that, hey, we got to get outside. We've got to get outside their DNs, and with Sullivan, he really does give us a good opportunity to do that, and we saw that a lot during the season.
So to Kevin's question in Dallas, do the running backs or are the run plays schemed any differently? Here's what all Big Ten tackle Mason Richmond had to say about Caleb Johnson being gone.
No, I mean, we run the same plays.
Well, I know.
So if you're asking that,
I realize that.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it's the guys are a little bit shorter, maybe a little bit younger than Caleb, and some of the guys, Jazz, I bet Jazz got more reps than Caleb has his whole career, but it sucks to see Caleb go. I wish him the best. I want it on the record. He still owes the O-line a dinner, so you guys can hold that to him. He got out of here before, but we'll get him pro day or something like that. So you guys can put that on your timeline or something like that. He still owes us. We want that on the record. And no, we miss him, but I think with this unit, it's not about one guy. It never was, never has been. He was our MVP, but even MVPs. NFL everywhere. They got other guys contributing too. So, for us, it's just about playing our best football as a team for one last time.
Mason Richmond, the senior from Leawood, Kansas, over a couple states. When he speaks, he's a leader of that offensive line. He and Connor Colby are the salty veterans, the senior from Cedar Rapids, Kennedy, but with Nick DeYoung, Bo Stevens, Logan Jones. We'll talk about Logan. He's practicing with a right hand, his snapping hand, heavily casted, heavily taped up. Got hurt in practice earlier last week, but he's going to try and give it a go come game day. And he's snapping with his left hand in practice. He's trying to learn how to snap with his left hand. That's how tough Logan Jones is.
He's tough, and they've been pretty healthy all year, which shows why Caleb has had such success.
No doubt. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Our holiday Happy New Year version of Hawk Talk, our bowl special, coming to you live from the Opryland Hotel here in Nashville. 10-second ID break. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach Ferentz. And welcome back. Our flagship stations include WHO in Des Moines, WMT in Cedar Rapids, and 50-plus stations around the state and around the Midwest. WHO, WMT turned 100 this year. WOC in the Quad Cities, likewise, one of our shining stars, along with KXIC, AM 800, right there in Iowa City. Before we take a break, speaking of the Iowa running game, Randy and Grinnell, has Caleb Johnson been with the team for bowl prep this week. No, he has not. He is, I'm told, down in Florida preparing for the NFL draft. Most of the guys either go to Arizona, California, or Florida to work out with personal trainers. I mean, you know how that works.
I stayed in Iowa City.
Oh, you stayed in Iowa City. You worked out with the trainers. Not a bad thought.
It was great.
Bad idea. Yeah. Well, times have changed a little bit in the last 15 years, but anyway, no, Randy. But appreciate the question. Caleb is not with the team. Dan in East Dubuque wants to know: does Missouri play a different brand of football since leaving the Big 12 for the SEC in 2012? Well, I think that's all goes back to coaching philosophy. Yeah. Gary Pinkel was at Missouri, and I think Missouri plays when Iowa last played the Tigers in 2010, won that game 27-24. I mean, they had Blaine Gabbert at quarterback, NFL #1 draft pick, and they had great wide receivers. So, I mean, you play to your personnel. Elijah Drinkwitz, I mean, they won 10, 11 games last year. They're 9-3 this year. They've got gifted wide receivers. One of them, Luther Burden, has opted out for the NFL draft, but the other one, Theo Weiss, the Oklahoma transfer, has 55 catches for a little over 800 yards and 3 touchdowns. You know, in this crazy age of NIL and transfer portal, I mean, you play the way your personnel dictates that you play, and we know the personnel names are going to change every year.
Oh, absolutely. The one thing with them, I mean, they still, as before, they wanted to spread it out a little bit, but they had, the quarterbacks to do it, and that was kind of their thing. But now it's a little bit different. They want to run the ball. They want to establish a run, and they really do a good job of, with their play action, opening up with these receivers. And the ones that are still there are very talented, very good receivers.
They are indeed. Bill in Sioux City is on the U.S. Cellular text line at 319-853-8344. Thanks, Bill, for checking in. Bill asks, how many players will be sitting out due to NFL prep or transfer portal decisions for Missouri this week? Well, we went over some of those names. We can tell you that because of the opt-out, Luther Burden III, their best wide receiver, will not be playing. Now, he had 61 catches for 675 yards and 6 touchdowns. So that guy knows where the end zone is, but he's a junior from St. Louis. He has decided not to play. He wants to prepare for the NFL draft, like Caleb Johnson. Iowa's 2 misses are Jamari Harris and Caleb Johnson. Missouri will be without starting wideout Luther Burden, and then one other one, they're very, very solid right tackle, offensive tackle, Armand Membu, a junior from Lee's Summit, Missouri. He has opted out because of his NFL future. So it looks like 2 aside, Bill, to answer your question, Bill in Sioux City. Now, the Hawks obviously have had some injury issues at quarterback. Brendan Sullivan is back. Jackson Stratton will be his backup. Missouri will be missing a couple of key players due to injury, and one of those is a defensive tackle, a backup defensive lineman, I should say, and one defensive back. So both teams are pretty healthy. Oh, excuse me, and Kirk mentioned Brett Norfleet, Missouri's outstanding tight end, 26 catches, couple touchdowns. He got injured, and the 6'6", 255-pound sophomore Brett Norfleet will not be playing in the bowl game. His backup is Jordan Harris, who's played limited time this year. But you know what? They'll just typically, if you don't have your best tight end, you go more to your slot receivers.
Yeah, and they have good slot receivers too. And I'm sure, Jordan Harris, their backup tight end, I mean, he hasn't really played significant amount of time, but a really good blocker. Obviously, I'm sure he's up and ready for the job, and their quarterback does a really good job of hitting that tight end, and I'm sure he'll be in the passing game as well.
I bumped into Luke Lachey on the way down here to the show tonight. He knocked me down, but he helped me up.
Where's he at?
Nice. It was nice of Luke, and he said they're as healthy as they've been all year long at the tight end position. Zach Ortworth has really come on in Addison Ostrenga's absence, but Addison is back now, so they've got a complement of 3 terrific tight ends, and Hayden Large.
Yeah,
Hayden Large has played solid all year long. Jennings Dunker Now, he's been running with the first unit for the Hawkeyes at right tackle. He missed the last couple games of the season because of a knee issue. Nick DeYoung, veteran, he can fill in admirably. They got Jack Dotzler as a backup as well, but it looks like Jennings is going to give it a go on Monday afternoon.
His hair looked really good. His hair looked really good today. So, yeah.
He's got the mullet going.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Defensively, of course, with Harris gone, it's still it's kind of mix and match there depending on the coverages, but Deshaun Lee has gotten better. John Nestor had a terrific game against Nebraska, both at corner and on special teams, and T.J. Hall's been solid on the other side.
Yeah, they've done a good job. They both came in and stepped in really well. Deshaun Lee, really good game against Maryland and Nebraska. Really finished strong. But yeah, it's a good group of guys back there, and really just watching them today, watching them, the way they talk to each other, the way that they communicate, the way they run the ball, like that's Iowa football, and it was just really fun to see them at practice.
Want to mention, by the way, thanks, Bill in Sioux City, for your U.S. Cellular text message. The Hawkeye Huddle, if you're making your way down here to Nashville and you're tuned in to our special Hawk Talk Bowl preview, the Hawkeye Huddle location is at the Sheridan Grand Nashville. That's right downtown. The Sheridan Grand Nashville, 623 Union Street. 623 Union Street, right in the heart of the entertainment district, in the Platinum Ballroom at the Sheridan Grand Nashville downtown. That's 4 to 6 p.m. Sunday. 4 to 6 p.m. on Sunday in downtown Nashville. Okay, we're going to take a break here in our special Hawk Talk Bowl preview. Iowa, Missouri, 1:30 on Monday afternoon. We'll be on the air at 11:30 with our extended pregame coverage. Hope you can join us if you're not coming to Nissan Stadium. It's another thing driving these kids. They get to play in an NFL stadium.
Yes, they do, and it's a really good stadium. Played there many times. One of my favorite places to play.
Beth Getz, Hawkeye Athletic Director, will join us after a timeout. Iowa, Missouri coming up over the New Year's holiday. And this is our Hawk Talk Bowl special presented by the 988 Lifeline. Back in a minute.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Kirk Ferentz. Support Iowa's corn farmers by pumping up with Unleaded 88. Fuel your drive to the game with a clear choice at the pump. Unleaded 88 is cheaper, greener, and homegrown. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Let's go Hawks.
Hey there, sports fans. Hungry for a legendary experience? Look no further than Bumps Restaurants, proudly named after the legendary Bump Elliott. Nestled right at the Finkbine Golf Course on Melrose Avenue, Bumps is your go-to spot for mouth-watering meals. Present your ticket from today's game at Bumps and get a buy one appetizer, get the second appetizer free deal. Offer good through the next home game. See you soon off Melrose Avenue at the Finkbine Golf Course. Bumps Restaurant, a legendary place with legendary food.
Hey Hawkeye fans, Callie Levine with Iowa Women's Basketball here. Your support in the stands is critical to our success on game day, but now you have another way to make a real impact. Join the Swarm today and partner with my teammates and me to service charities throughout Iowa. Together, we're making our state stronger and helping Iowa athletics become the place where we experience the thrill of winning championships. Head to iowaswarm.com for more information. Let's make a difference, Hawkeye Nation.
In the heartland, where ambition thrives, there are those who are made and those who are made for more. Just like the Hawkeyes on game day, Kloss, a leading producer of ag equipment, unleashes the power of ambition in the field. Discover why our cutting-edge machinery and unwavering support aren't just a promise, they're a commitment to your success. Because at Kloss, we know you are made for more. Visit your Kloss dealer or CLAAS.com.
Cedar Ridge Distillery continues to be the home of Iowa's favorite bourbon with the original 86 bourbon whiskey. Not only is it always made with Iowa corn, but we let Iowa put its own stamp on the whiskey by aging it in non-climate controlled rickhouses. Make your next drink with Iowa's favorite, the original 86 bourbon by Cedar Ridge. Learn more at cedarridgedistillery.com. Cedar Ridge Distillery, Swisher, Iowa. Please drink responsibly.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
U.S. Cellular introduces Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection, so dinner sounds less like this and more like this. Visit in-store or online to set up Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us.
This is the Music City Bowl preview edition of Hawk Talk, presented by 988 Lifeline. There is hope. 24/7 confidential support. Call, text, or chat 988.
Hey, welcome back to our Music City Bowl Hawk Talk live from the Opryland Hotel in Nashville. I'm Gary Dolphin, Pat Anger alongside as he will be on Monday afternoon at 1:30. When we kick off with the Hawks and the Missouri Tigers. Just a reminder, our pregame coverage starts at 11:30 on Monday. Iowa Athletic Director Beth Getz joins us here at the Opryland. Belated Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, Beth.
Same to you. Same to you.
Great to have you here with us. You've been on the go. You just flew in today. So what's been on your plate since last we talked at the Nebraska football game?
Well, you know, we may have had a little break from football, but a long string of basketball games and swim meets and some other things.
Wrestling.
So, yep, track was on campus not too long ago. So, but it's been great, and no better way to spend the holiday than capping it off with this bowl game.
Indeed, and you've been doing a little paperwork on NIL and transfer portal and keeping track of that.
I've heard there's a little going on there.
It continues to be a moving target, but everything I'm reading, the House and the schools and the presidents are getting closer and closer, right?
Yeah, you know, I think there could certainly be a right turn at some point in time, I think, as goes in these legal cases. But in terms of the preparation that's needed, I think by all parties, the institutions and conferences and NCAA and anybody else that has to have their hands in this, I think the progress to ensuring we're ready to move forward with that has been good. Lots of unknowns still, but I think we're moving in that direction.
You get pulled in so many different directions. What do you do in your limited free time, if you even have free time?
Yeah, well, I mean, Pat, you know this as well, but most of us in our free time would be watching sports, and we get to do that for a living, which is just really special. But I'm no different than anyone else. If we've got a night without a game, I'm going home and finding another game on TV. But it is nice, you know. I had a couple days I got to see some family and catch up with them. So I enjoy doing that. And as Gary sees me wandering around once in a while, I like to get out when we've got time for a jog and be outside. But
yes.
I just feel so fortunate to get to do what we do every day around, these great young people. And, I never wanted to leave college. Turns out one day maybe you won't have to. I don't know.
They kicked you out.
Yeah, they may just have to kick you out. But I'd have been a kid trying to stay in, that's for sure. I enjoyed it so much. I really never left.
So here we are in Nashville. The Hawkeyes are playing your home state, your native state, University of Missouri. Were you a Missouri fan growing up?
Yeah, it's funny. I have lots of friends and some family that obviously went to Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
One, they didn't have soccer when I was going into college yet. They hadn't started a program at that time, and so it wasn't really on my radar. But it's the state school, but not in the way that people feel about the Hawkeyes. So you'd cheer for them a little bit here and there, and I've certainly followed them over the years, and that's what the family reads about in the paper and those types of things. So I can tell you there's no house divided, though, back in St. Louis these days. So they are all in on the Iowa Hawkeyes.
That's good. You know what I like is, of course, we've got it on the Hawkeye Radio Network Monday, but this is the only bowl show on TV, on radio, anywhere Monday. That's great exposure for the university.
Oh, it really is. And certainly in football, we have that happen, and when you're on fortunate enough to be on TV and network TV or streaming along the way, but it's really just been great, and I think anytime we can have the opportunity to showcase our great team, our great institution, it's just there's nothing like that. So we're grateful for the opportunity to have that time slot.
As we're going into 2025, what are some of the most memorable moments you've had in 2024. We've had an amazing year for Iowa athletics.
It really has, Ben. I think, for me, it really started off with the opportunity to be in this role last January. And so, I think that really kicked it off. But it's really hard to put your finger on one thing.
It's like favorite kid, which is my daughter. She's my favorite.
Yeah, and I'm not going to pick one here because they're all the same. I mean, it's really every moment that you're in is the most special one. But, whether it's women's basketball, and we're coming through another year of sellouts and how incredible our fan base is that supports our football program. Well, women's basketball, wrestling, supports everybody. But there's just been so many special moments. We've had a handful of coaches all making their mark and setting institutional records for wins, and that's a lot of fun. So, anytime you get one moment with a student athlete, at least, in our chair, we're close to them, but not engaged every day. Those are the ones that you just, you remember. So, but there's so many special things, and the great thing about the tradition here at Iowa is that there's more to come. It's going to continue, and I know that's what 2025 is going to bring as well.
Well, you've had a great start first year as Iowa athletic director, and I think you're doing a great job. Now I need 4 tickets to Caitlin Clark's Jersey retirement game with Juju and Southern Cal coming to town. Talk about starting the year with a bang, even though it's not until February. I mean, there's plenty of basketball between now and then, but man, oh man, you're going to get a few calls yet on that game.
We haven't even made it out of the building without getting a few calls, so we're trying to figure out how to even get staff in the building at the moment. But a lot of excitement around there,
man.
and that's going to make an impact on our institution for a long, long time.
It will be a happy new year. Thanks so much for stopping by. I know you're shaking hands and kissing babies here in Nashville this week, but it's wonderful of you to stop by. Happy New Year. We'll see you at the game Monday.
Sounds great. Go Hawks. Enjoy your time here in Nashville.
That's Beth Getz, and our bowl coverage, our live bowl coverage tonight from Music City, USA, is brought to you by the Summit Agricultural Group. Summit Ag is committed to Iowa and adding value to Iowa products like corn, beef, hogs, and ethanol. Go Hawks. We'll go away for just a minute and then come right back to the Opryland Hotel for more of our Music City Hawk Talk.
Hi, I'm Lucy Olson from the Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball team. Did you know that vaping can harm your lungs and impact your athletic performance, leaving you feeling gassed? On the court, my coach guides me. Off the court, let Quitline Iowa be your coach and help you quit vaping for good.
A message from Iowa HHS.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today?
The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness.
Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Here in Iowa, we know the value of hard work, and so does Summit Agricultural Group. We're committed to our state, adding value to what makes Iowa great. Our corn, our beef, our hogs, and our ethanol. It's more than farming. It's building a better future for Iowa families. So whether you're cheering on the Hawks or working in the fields, know that Summit Agricultural Group is here, growing Iowa together. Summit Agricultural Group, rooted in Iowa, growing value.
Hi, I'm Lucy Olson from the Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball team. Did you know that vaping can harm your lungs and impact your athletic performance, leaving you feeling gassed? On the court, my coach guides me. Off the court, let Quitline Iowa be your coach and help you quit vaping for good.
A message from Iowa HHS.
This is the Music City Bowl preview edition of Hawk Talk, presented by 988 Lifeline. There is hope. 24/7 confidential support. Call, text, or chat 988.
With former Hawkeye great Pat Anger, our engineer-producer Corey Sheets, I'm Gary Dolphin. Welcome back to our special Hawk Talk Bowl preview show. Iowa, Missouri, 1:30 kick from the home of the Tennessee Titans on Monday afternoon, the Nissan Stadium. And man, oh man, are they doing a makeover down along the river downtown. They're building I think a $1.1 billion stadium, a brand new stadium for the Titans. I think maybe next year it'll be ready to move into. And then they'll knock down the existing one. And it's about 65 acres, and they're developing the property around the stadium with retail shops, restaurants, great bars, and honky-tonks. And, I mean, after all, it is Nashville.
It sounds like your house. Now, are you financing this? Is that what you're doing? Are you taking out a home equity and paying for this?
Do you think we could get the credit union to...
yeah, we could do something.
Yeah, okay. All right. We'll talk about that. We'll talk financing maybe on our next bowl show. But for now, it is a great city, period. And now you add an NFL franchise, and, boy, everything happens after that, doesn't it? I mean, you experienced that in Indy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a really good city, and the the organization's great. Obviously, when I played at Indy, we beat them all the time. So I'm more of a Colts fan, but really good organization, like we talked about earlier. They've got Chickies, E.G. Ozzie, former Iowa guy, in their program. They've had Monty Hooker, Carl Klug, one of my favorite teammates of all time. So yeah, a lot of guys I know had a lot of fun down here.
And we had Jeff Fisher's son punting for the Hawks. At least 1 year, maybe two. I know Kirk and Jeff have gotten to be, well, they were friends when Kirk was in the NFL with the Baltimore Ravens. So there's a lot of Iowa connections. Our buddy Ralph Ockenfels was the head of group sales and marketing for a long time here in Tennessee. He engineered a couple of billion-dollar deals with the signage and the stadium naming rights. And Ralph lives in Franklin now. He's from Iowa City. The Ockenfels family ran the Ockenfels Lumber Company for 100 years. His grandfolks and parents, and Ralph will be at the game he'll be tailgating at the game. He just retired here with the Titans, and so it'll be great to catch up with Ralph. Kirk Ferentz was here a little bit ago. He helped us open the show. Thanks to Coach. His interviews all season long have been brought to you by Hawkeyes Midwest. Is Hawkeyes Midwest in your farming game plan? Hawkeyes Bio 800 Plus products are enriched with soil microbes to build soil health and increase your yield. Soil nourishing, root stimulating. That's Hawkeyes Midwest. Go to HawkeyesMidwest.com for more information. Pat, you and I, of course, you experienced it as a player. We experience it now in the broadcast booth. One of the great stories, there's so many great stories around Iowa football, other than the game itself. Come on in, Tim. Coach Lester's here. And this is the 15th anniversary of the kids' captains. And it is such a special story. And we're going to hear from, in a little bit, we're going to hear from Kelby Thielander, who was in the inaugural class of kid captains in 2009. And now he's a member of the Iowa football team.
That's awesome.
I mean, it
so
doesn't get
awesome.
better than that. Yeah. I know Coach Lester, who just joined us here, will have a comment or two on that. Put those headsets on, Coach. I know you know what headsets are.
I don't know if we got any big enough to fit his head. All those rushing yards really gone to his head.
Thanks for coming by. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
Technically, how'd your first year go as O-coordinator? I know you enjoy Iowa City, you and your family.
Oh, it's great. People have been great. It's a process. It's never fast enough. It's never fast enough. Trying to get the different pieces put together. We did some good things. We left a lot on the table that we're working on, and the things that take longer to get good at, are taking longer to get good at. The good thing is we found the goal was to find what we're good at and be good at it and help us win games. And I wasn't sure if we were going to lead the Big Ten in rushing. I didn't see that coming. I thought we'd be up there. So we're happy with that, but we got a lot to work on, and it's fun because it keeps you hungry every day, when there's things that you are struggling with that we have to get better at, and it gives us something to work for every day.
Always something new. When did you first realize, Kamari Moulton was penciled in as a starter at the end of the year. Jazz Patterson, we've watched him a couple of years. Caleb has been solid, and then all of a sudden, kaboom, he takes off. What triggered that?
If early on in the season, it was interesting because they all had a good camp. So you weren't 100% sure. And being a running back's interesting, right? It's about breaking tackles, right? If the hole is there, anyone could run through it. Sometimes I'm like, I think I could have got through that. Our O-line did a good job a couple times where a guy went untouched, right? And you don't get to see that in camp much. Like, who can actually break tackles, And
good point.
And K2, man, people are bouncing off of him.
K2.
And he's turning – 8-yard runs into 50-yard runs and turning 2-yard runs into 5-yard runs. And that's, I think, the thing that set him apart from some of the other guys is he just had a knack. And that size and speed combination is rare.
That helps.
And but, when we don't tackle, you don't really get to see people bounce off him like that, So obviously we got, by the end of the year, we were going to make sure he got the touches he needed. I talk about being at Western Michigan and having Sky Moore and Dia, like those guys, we had to get them touches. Like, sure, your best player better touch the ball, and shame on you if he's not. And so we were making sure he got the touches, and once we realized kind of what we had, and so that shortened some of the growth in other areas, but put us in the best position to win.
How about that reception? Sorry, lost my voice.
It's awesome. You sound like me.
He's taking advantage of his time.
I was
here
yelling
in
at practice.
Yeah.
How about that reception against Nebraska to where he broke 75,000 tackles?
Literally.
Was that one of the best plays you've ever seen?
It was. I was in a dark place at that moment.
Sure.
We were not running the ball well. It's very frustrating and lonely up there when you get into a situation like that.
Everyone's looking at you, too.
Yeah, 100%.
National TV zoning in.
Yeah, I wish I had a hood. I would have put it up. But, we couldn't run the ball. Jackson was struggling, too, just mentally going through the reads and, calling. I think he called the first play of the game wrong off the wristband.
I've done that before.
That was not a good start. A couple times he forgot motions and, Luke Lachey's waiting to be motioned, and we snapped the ball, and Luke's looking at me like, now what do? I don't know, Luke. Just do something. And so we needed to find a way. They were doing a really good job up front. We were struggling a little bit at the line of scrimmage, so we literally ran a swing screen. It's basically a toss sweep.
Yeah.
It's like, let's forget about all these guys. Let's get two on the edge. We tried we ran every reverse and swing screen we had in the second and third and fourth quarter. And we did a good job of blocking. Our right tackle did an unbelievable job. DeYoung, the DN dropped, which is not something you expect, and he went and chased him. And we at least got him through the first level. And after that, that's why Caleb's
the man.
That's who he is.
That's why you led the Big Ten in rushing.
If you can do the job and get him to the second level, he can do some things. But that was one of the most put the team on your back. We're all struggling.
Amazing.
And we need to play. Yeah. And that guy did it, and it was a special moment. That was fun to watch.
I'm looking at the rushing yards and the passing yards in the game. I go, we didn't have that many passing yards.
It was a toss
I forgot.
Sweep.
It was a flick to Caleb, but it was a toss sweep.
It was a toss sweep.
Relay the story. I first met Tim in last February when he snuck into town and was getting ready for spring ball. And we did a nice sit down, and I asked him, coming from Green Bay, the back room, putting the offensive game plan together. Of course, 11,000 yards, 87 touchdowns in his career throwing the football, so Tim Lester knows how to throw the football. I said, what is the key to a great passing game? And your words were, the key to a great passing game is you got to run the football.
Yep.
So relay the Aaron Jones story. I still love that story about how he came back from injury, and the Packers, there was a reason they took off in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and Jordan got better, no doubt about it, and the young receivers got better. But we were 2-5. And I think we went 4 or 5 games in a row without scoring in the first half. We weren't scoring. And we were struggling, and Aaron Jones was hurt. That was the problem. Yeah. He had a great choice right out of the backfield against the Bears in game 1, went about 30, 40, and pulled his hamstring. So he missed 3 weeks, tried to come back early because he's tough as nails. got hurt again, missed another 3 weeks. But we're 2-5, and Aaron comes back. And he's the guy that turns 2 yards, runs into 9, 18. Like, he gets through
Moves the
windows.
chains.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's doing it for the Vikings now. And I was very upset when they got rid of him, and Josh Jacobs is doing a heck of a job.
Yeah.
But I was not happy when they made that trade, but it's working out good for everybody. But he was the key. He was the catalyst. When the run game started going, all the play pass worked. All the movement worked. And Jordan started getting confidence. The young wideouts started getting confidence. And I want to say the last 10 weeks of the season, we were the number 1 offense in the league. We were the worst to the best, all because, I believe, one of the run game, and that made everything else work. And so it was fun to watch, and they're still going now, and they still got the run game going.
Pat, you know how that works in the NFL. When that run game is going, that play action, you're facing a great quarterback every Sunday, typically. The passing game opens up.
When I was trying to tackle him, the run game usually worked really well. So the one thing I wanted to talk to you about, you've had 3 different quarterbacks this year, 3 different skill levels, 3 different maturity levels, 3 different experience levels. Did you go into games with basically 3 different offenses, kind of?
I had 4 in one game. I had 4 different sheets. I've never carried that many sheets up there. So this was definitely the most interesting 21 years of coaching, but very difficult in, what Sully can do, some of the things Sully could do, Cade couldn't do. And so we had Sully plays and a way the offense would run under him. The great thing about this offense is it's so flexible. You can run it so many different ways. And then we had, the potential running back, backup, third-string quarterback. What's he going to be able to do? Because he can't throw it at all. I taught him 3 pass plays. And I'm not even going to say his name. It's all right. He's ready for those 3 pass plays if it comes down to it. And then Jackson went in, and we didn't really know a lot about him. He was on the scout team all week or all year. And then we brought him down, and we kind of figured out who he was. And he's different than Sully, too.
Yeah.
So, yes, there was some interesting, like going to the Maryland game. I mean, we had one.
Yeah.
We had one quarterback. That's it. And, even in the last game, I know Sully really wanted to go in. He did everything he could to get back. He was cleared, but he was not healthy.
Yeah.
He was going to get re-hurt if I put him in there. And we're not playing well. He's all over my ass. I mean, he's not happy with me, which I appreciate, right?
Yeah.
That guy wants to play.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're not going to be able to move.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be a sitting duck, And so I think he was still mad at me after the game, but now he's healthy. He can move. He can be Sully again, right? But, it's been an interesting year with quarterbacks. The biggest thing is just keep your knees bent, be ready to go. And we got some new guys coming in, and so it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, the room is quite crowded right now, the quarterback
Isn't that
room.
a good thing?
It is
right?
a good thing, yeah.
It's a really good thing.
So give us a little sentence or two about Hank and Jimmy Sullivan.
Yeah, well, Hank is obviously the older of the two. He's a redshirt freshman right now, so he's got 3 years left. Coming from Auburn, started a couple games as a redshirt freshman there, which is a learning experience in and of itself.
Oh, yeah.
Did a good job, and they've only been with us a week, but they're learning what they're doing and where to go. And Hank's picking it up quicker than Jimmy, but live arm and pretty smart. Seems like he studies really hard, and it's been great to have him around and just to have an arm. It's been great,
for sure.
And then Jimmy was in high school last week, and now he's out there trying to run our offense. It's the funniest thing ever. Literally, I'll look at the play sheet, and coach does a great job of giving them drives. They get reps at the end of every practice, and I'll walk in and I'll pick a play I want. I'll be like, hey, card 72. I'll explain what to do after you read it. And they'll read the call and break. Oh, okay, here's the deal. You're going to motion this guy. You're going to read here. Boom, boom. Okay, gotcha, coach. And they're just out there playing. These are invaluable reps, right?
Absolutely.
And so Jimmy's doing a good job. He started slow, had a couple really good days. Struggled a couple more days. So he's just, the game's happening so fast for him, learning the footwork and the terminology. But having those two here, they're here to compete.
Get a head start.
And so they definitely got a head start. When they come back in January, they're going to be light years ahead of where they both have their iPads now. They have access to our system so they can watch for the next month before they come back. Was it January 21st, something like that?
Yeah.
And that's when Q school starts for me. And we're going to get those guys up and running.
Last thing for you, a word about Missouri defensively. What concerns you?
Johnny Walker concerns me.
Both their ends are pretty good.
Yeah, they look the part. They can run. Their safety number one's really good. Both linebackers, they do such a good job up front that it allows their linebackers to run all over and make plays, And then you got to pass, and Johnny Walker is 7.5 sacks and 10.5 tackles for loss, and he can be a game wrecker. And number one, their safety does a good job. They spin him down on the box a ton. So they do enough stuff to put pressure on you, and your quarterback's going to have to be on it. It's not going to be easy just to move them around up front. I mean, you look at the end zone view, and they look the part. They're wide, they're big,
Sure.
And so it's going to be a big challenge for the guys up front. And coverage-wise, they're definitely long, and they can run. They haven't given up a ton of big plays. I think that's one of the keys, much like our defense. They're going to make you earn it. We're going to have to go down the field and check down. If you get into third down, you get some man. You get in the red zone, you get some man. Other than that, they're going to make you go execute for 10, 12 in a row. And that's not, for anyone that's faced Iowa knows, that's not easy.
No, for sure. Yeah.
And so it's going to be a big challenge for, the quarterbacks, the new running backs, not really new, but they're going to get more carries than they've gotten. And Sully will be able to move around again, which will be fun to see him. And our receiving core is healthy again. Reese is back, which is exciting.
Terrific.
And some of the other guys are getting better. I mean, this month has been so much fun for me personally. We have thrown it a ton. I mean, just repetition of doing things over and over and over again and learning coverages and where to sit. And it's not that complicated once you do it enough, but it's got to happen fast and you got to make quick decisions. And so I think we've gotten a lot better. We'll find out on Monday. But it just hopefully being balanced and hopefully be able to do both. And we just got to find a way to be explosive. And this year, not unfortunately, but it was exciting to have the most explosive. He was number two. So if you wanted an explosive play,
K2.
Inside zone. Sometimes the most explosive play we had, because you have to find a way to be explosive, no matter what it is. Just be explosive. Sure. And 2 did that for us, and we're going to have to continue to find more ways to do it in the future.
K2 looked a lot like Aaron Jones.
He did. He did.
Good stuff, Tim Lester. Thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Great to see you.
Anytime.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.
See you,
Iowa offensive coordinator Tim Lester, and we're back with more on our Hawk Talk Bowl special right after this from Nashville.
Hi, I'm Lucy Olson from the Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball team. Did you know that vaping can harm your lungs and impact your athletic performance, leaving you feeling gassed? On the court, my coach guides me. Off the court, let Quit Line Iowa be your coach and help you quit vaping for good.
A message from Iowa HHS.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
At MidAmerican Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. You'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Here in Iowa, we know the value of hard work, and so does Summit Agricultural Group. We're committed to our state, adding value to what makes Iowa great: our corn, our beef, our hogs, and our ethanol. It's more than farming. It's building a better future for Iowa families. So whether you're cheering on the Hawks or working in the fields, know that Summit Agricultural Group is here, growing Iowa together. Summit Agricultural Group, rooted in Iowa, growing value.
Hi, I'm I'm Lucy Olson from the Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball team. Did you know that vaping can harm your lungs and impact your athletic performance, leaving you feeling gassed? On the court, my coach guides me. Off the court, let Quitline Iowa be your coach and help you quit vaping for good.
A message from Iowa HHS.
This is the Music City Bowl preview edition of Hawk Talk, presented by 988 Lifeline. There is hope. 24/7 confidential support. Call, text, or chat 988.
Good stuff from Iowa offensive coordinator Tim Lester. We thank Kirk Ferentz and Beth Getz for stopping by tonight. We're live from the Opryland Hotel in Nashville. Our bowl preview special, Iowa, Missouri at 1:30 Monday here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Our pregame coverage will start at 11:30. Pat and I were talking about Kelby Thielander. Kelby is a 6'4", 240-pound junior linebacker, a two-time academic All-Big Ten performer in the classroom. He was awarded the team leader recognition for special teams when he first joined the program in 2022. Outstanding athlete at Liberty High School in Iowa City. He excelled as get this, a linebacker, a defensive back, a wide receiver, and a quarterback. Did you play that many positions at Bettendorf?
Just one.
Just one. Oh, that one's enough. I mean, that takes enough out of you. But Kelby would put at top of the list of his accomplishments if he was sitting here, is a member of the inaugural class of Kid Captains 2009. It's the 15th anniversary for the Kid Captain this year, and Kelby was in that first class. Why? Well, at 21 months of age, just 21 months old, a daycare provider expressed concern over Kelby's lack of hearing. She would call him for lunch, and if his back was turned to the daycare provider, he wouldn't respond at all. Parents took him to a children's hospital. The diagnosis weeks later was profound hearing loss. Surgery provided Kelby Thielander with cochlear implants, and Kelby Thielander is living a normal life as a member of the Iowa Hawkeye football team.
That's crazy to think about. Time does fly by. I feel like it was just yesterday.
I love the pictures of you when you were 7, 8, 9 years old and watching the Hawkeyes and picking out your favorite. Who were your favorite players then? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think right off the bat, it'd be Tyler Sash. I think he was a huge impactor every game. He was one of the funnest guys to watch on defense, and I think a lot of guys tend to look at those who carry the ball, but Tyler Sash is one of those guys that didn't have to have the ball in his hands, and he kind of did the dirty work. And I think alongside, I'd go with Adrian Claiborne and Benz, Ballard. They had a great trio on the defensive line that year, so it was fun to watch.
Don't forget Pat Anger.
Yeah, that's right. No kidding, of course. How could I do that to him? He's the best, right in the linebacker room. But, yeah, he's awesome.
What is it about Iowa football? We'll talk about Kid Captain in a minute. Iowa football that is endearing to young kids growing up all across Iowa.
Yeah, no, Iowa football is, I'd say, you hear the term Iowa nice, and I think that definitely applies here in this state. And just to see how it levels from, local people within the community, and it goes the same way around here in the facility back at Iowa. I think the biggest thing is they have the kindest environment, and they're always willing to help others. So just seeing how we can impact, the youth and those in the children's hospital, everywhere across the campus, I think is huge. And I think Iowa is a very close state. It's not divided by any means, aside from Ames, of course. But I think Iowa as a whole is kind of its own unique family. I don't think you see that too many other places in the country, so it's very special.
And how ironic the Children's Hospital is right across the street from Kinnick Stadium. I know that to have your treatments and your cochlear implants done at Children's Hospital means the world to you and every youngster that's been in that facility.
Right. Yeah, no, you said it perfectly. That means everything to me. The fact that I'm able to come here and represent, Iowa across my chest and, go out there and make plays and stuff for people, who made it all possible in the first place, knowing that, back in 2005 or so is when I got my cochlear implant. Just to see how it's transitioned over the years is huge. It means the world to me and my family.
And Coach Ferentz took a chance on you as a football player.
He sure did, yep. I know he probably felt the time. It was maybe a bit risky. I didn't play my senior year in high school, so there's a lot of what-ifs that were in the air, but I couldn't be more thankful. I love it every day, and I just love being around the guys and just going out there and playing the game I love.
Football and Children's Hospital, that's turned you into quite a young man.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it.
What do you want to do after football?
I think after football, I'm looking to financial advising. I did an internship this past summer with Greg McLaughlin. He's a kicker. He used to play at time. So, yeah, he's a great role model. It's good to have a lot of, guys in their back pocket who are former alumni.
Well, a great road for young kids to follow is yours, Kelby, and congratulations on getting to where you are and where you're going, and thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it.
What a terrific young man, Kelby Thielander. He'll be flying around on special teams out there Monday against the Missouri Tigers, but what a great story. Kid captain to a Hawkeye football player.
Yeah, phenomenal, and it says a lot about the program, says a lot about Coach Ferentz, him. Obviously, if he's going to get into sales, he's got to remember names like the greatest linebacker from the 2009. But still, he's just a phenomenal kid. We're so lucky to have him, and it's just there's good people in the program, and it starts with Coach Ferentz.
I love how he mentioned every name on that defense 2009 except the guy in the middle.
Well, they always leave the ugly ones out.
It's almost intentional.
Yeah, I love that.
It wasn't.
What a great kid.
And he still feels bad about it. I said, don't feel bad about it. Anger can handle it. All right, we're going to take a break here on our Bull Hawk Talk special. Quitting vaping or smoking can be hard. But Quitline Iowa can help you quit for free with your own personal coach. Get started today. Text START to 300500. That's START to 300-500. And we're back in Nashville at the Opryland Hotel in just a minute with more Bowl Special Hawk Talk.
Hey there, sports fans. Hungry for a legendary experience? Look no further than Bumps Restaurants, proudly named after the legendary Bump Elliott. Nestled right at the Finkbine Golf Course on Melrose Avenue, Bumps is your go-to spot for mouth-watering meals. Present your ticket from today's game at Bumps and get a buy one appetizer, get the second appetizer free deal. Offer good through the next home game. See you soon off Melrose Avenue at the Finkbine Golf Course. Bumps Restaurant, a legendary place with legendary food.
Life's busy, and Quick Start gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Start is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time. Quick Start, where your day gets easier and better.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hey Hawkeye fans, Peyton Sanford here with Iowa men's basketball. Your support in the stands is critical to our success on game day, but now you have another way to make a real impact. Join the Swarm today and partner with my teammates and me to service charities throughout Iowa. Together, we're making our state stronger and helping Iowa athletics become the place where we experience the thrill of winning championships. Head to iowaswarm.com for more information. Let's make a difference, Hawkeye Nation.
Time now for the Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield Health Coverage Report. When you enroll in a Wellmark individual or family health plan, you get an HMO network that includes over 32,000 providers. Plus, you get support from a company that's been serving Iowans for 85 years. Now, those are some impressive numbers, and that's health coverage you can feel confident in. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/covered. Enrollment ends January 15th.
Lennox has been building furnaces and air conditioners here in Iowa since 1895, and Lennox dealers have been selling and installing these high-efficiency Lennox products for just as long. So when you call Holt Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, you know you're calling one of the best names in the indoor comfort business. Dave Lennox knows that when you turn to Holt, your home will be exceptionally comfortable. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and Holt Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Lennox, Holt Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, and the Hawkeyes. Now that's a winning combination.
This is the Music City Bowl preview edition of Hawk Talk, presented by 988 Lifeline. There is hope. 24/7 confidential support. Call, text, or chat 988.
Welcome back to our Hawk Talk Bowl special. Gary Dolphin with Pat Anger. Thank our guest tonight, Beth Getz, Coach Ferentz. Coach Lester just left us a moment ago. And how about this young man, Amani Hooker? He was an outstanding strong safety in a long line of them at Iowa from 2016 to 2018. Hooker left after his junior year, drafted 4th round in the NFL draft by the Tennessee Titans, where he thrives today. The Minneapolis native is tied for 5th in the league with 5 interceptions to go with 71 tackles, 40 solo, and 2 forced fumbles. Now, he got hurt last week against the Colts. He has a shoulder injury, won't play this week against Jacksonville on Sunday afternoon. We talked to Amani today. He stopped by the Hawkeye defensive meetings this afternoon. Although the Titans certainly aren't having the year they'd hoped for at 3-12, Hooker remains focused and motivated.
Just trying to take care of, my group, our business. My group, my position is a DB group. So, I just got to make sure, my guys are ready, for each game, each and every week, whether it's a win or loss, our preparation doesn't change following, that next week. So just being able to, snap and clear anything that happened the previous week and then just take on a new opponent.
Wipe the slate clean and move on, right?
Yep.
How did playing in Phil Parker's system help prepare you for the National Football League, Amani?
Man, I would just say I was going into the draft process and, once I got to the league, I felt like there was never a moment where I was, unprepared or, heard something that I haven't heard before. Coach Parker does a great job of, teaching it how the pros teach it, and it carries over. It's not, nothing crazy, no secrets, just a lot of simple things that, aren't coached in other places that, he does a great job of emphasizing.
Mr. Pick Six on the first play of the Ohio State game in 2017. He drilled a pass thrown right to him by J.T. Barrett and got to the end zone. As Ed Podolak would like to say, that guy's a football player.
Great Hawkeye, not surprised at all by the amount of success he's having.
Pat Anger, a former Colt, talking about current Tennessee Titan Amani Hooker. We'll have an extended interview with Amani on our pregame coverage Monday at Nissan Stadium and the Music City Bowl with the Hawkeyes in Missouri. Back to wrap up the show right after this pause.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides the direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
Hey Hawkeyes, this is Coach Ferentz. We're excited to partner with Iowa Corn for another football season. And Iowa Corn is pumped up for the season with the Hawkeyes. For those of you that drive to the game, support Iowa's corn farmers by selecting unleaded 88 at the pump. It's a fuel choice that's cheaper, homegrown, and better for the planet. It's worth the hype. Get pumped up for unleaded 88. Let's go Hawks.
Hey Hawkeye fans, Jenks Dunker with Iowa Football here. Your support in the stands is critical to our success on game day, but now you have another way to make a real impact. Join this forum today and partner with my teammates and me to service charities throughout Iowa. Together we're making our state stronger and helping Iowa athletics become the place where we experience the thrill of winning championships. Head to iowaswarm.com for more information. Let's make a difference, Hawkeye Nation.
Here in Iowa, we know the value of hard work, and so does Summit Agricultural Group. We're committed to our state, adding value to what makes Iowa great: our corn, our beef, our hogs, and our ethanol. It's more than farming. It's building a better future for Iowa families. So whether you're cheering on the Hawks or working in the fields, know that Summit Agricultural Group is here, growing Iowa together. Summit Agricultural Group, rooted in Iowa, growing value.
Thank you to our Hawkeye Radio Network Music City Bowl partners. 988 Lifeline. There is hope. 24/7 confidential support. Call, text, or chat 988. Iowa HHS. Quitting vaping or smoking can be hard, but Quitline Iowa can help you quit for free with your own personal coach. Get started today. Text START to 300500. Summit Agricultural Group, committed to Iowa and adding value to Iowa products. Corn, beef, hogs, ethanol. Go Hawks.
Minute remaining here in our special Hawk Talk Bowl preview. Iowa, Missouri, 1:30 on Monday, 11:30 for our pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Quick U.S. Bank scoreboard update. Bowl games today, finals. Vanderbilt over Georgia Tech in the Birmingham Bowl, 35-27. Navy rallies to beat Oklahoma 21-20 in the Armed Forces Bowl. How appropriate.
That's awesome.
Man, oh man. Washington State leads Syracuse 21-14. That's at the end of the first quarter. And we've got Arkansas, Texas Tech on 24-19. Arkansas leads Texas Tech at halftime. Our sympathies to the Greg Gumbel family. We lost a great one today. Greg Gumbel, a longtime CBS sports announcer, would lead us into the Sweet 16 or the March Madness every year. Great NFL announcer, NFL Today with Bradshaw, and a Loras College grad. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight on this special bowl preview Hawk Talk. We'll talk Monday. Have a great weekend. Happy New Year, everybody. On behalf of Pat Anger, our engineer, producer, Corey Sheets, I'm Gary Dolphin. Good night from the Opryland Hotel in Nashville.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network, live from Nashville, Tennessee. This has been the Music City Bowl preview edition of Hawk Talk, presented by 988 Lifeline. 988 Lifeline. There is hope. 24/7 confidential support. Call, text, or chat 988. Summit Agricultural Group. Summit Agricultural Group is committed to Iowa and adding value to Iowa products. Corn, beef, hogs, ethanol. Go Hawks. Iowa HHS. Quitting vaping or smoking can be hard, but Quitline Iowa can help you quit for free with your own personal coach. Get started today. Text START to 300500. That's START to 300500. Also brought to you by Mid-American Energy. Call 811 before you dig. It's the law. Visit MidAmericanEnergy.com for natural gas safety tips. Iowa corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. By your local Ford dealers. U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, built for us. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.